What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. Around about them late teens, early 20s, it's a fun time in a young man's life. Fresh out of high school, not too much pressure, because at that age, you are expected to make mistakes. Bright-eyed with your whole life ahead of you, for most young men that age, they are still living home with their parents, while they are deciding what they want to do in life. And with little to no responsibilities comes fun. Hanging out with your friends, or even more exciting, the young ladies. As we get to know who we are becoming out here and stepping into manhood, it could also be tricky, especially if you got hate in your city or town. With young men, it doesn't take much to create an enemy. Messing with the wrong girl, or simply being from a different part of town. Or sometimes dudes won't like you just because the way you move. You might stay to yourself and not follow the crowd. For the most part, it's petty, ego-driven young boys trying to prove a point. And as they get older and real life hits, it usually passes. But unfortunately, that's not the case for everybody. We are living in a time where creating or having enemies or ops seems like the cool thing to do. Waking up every day with another individual on your mind, or looking for them. And for a lot of misguided youth, it makes them feel tough to have a little gun, a crew around them, and to be able to say we up on the ops. But there's no reset button on life. And if you make an irreversible decision, the consequences can be for a lifetime. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it right outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, to Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, to discuss the case of a teen boy who thought he was meeting a girl, but she was luring him in for a sneaky revenge plot. Back in 2021, 19-year-old Jaylen was a young man with his whole life ahead of him, just trying to navigate the world. Described as laid back, fun, into sports, and like most young men his age, he liked to be outside and around his friends. On his downtime, he would often walk the neighborhood, which had a street full of apartments. One of those apartments was called Catoosa Garden Apartments. Another young man lived around that area. He was at the time 20-year-old Keontae Ragland. For whatever reasons, Jaylen and Keontae didn't get along. They would have back and forth arguments that would lead to a physical altercation between the two young men. On September 23rd, 2021, it was a normal day in the area. Jaylen was outside and decided to take a walk through the apartments. While walking through, he was spotted by Keontae, who felt disrespected. His rival was bold enough to walk through his neighborhood alone. He didn't say nothing as him and Jaylen made eye contact, and the young man kept walking. But later that evening, Keontae was outside in his complex smoking with two of his homies, both at the time 18 years old. They were Malachi Housley and Keyshawn Rowe. He discussed with them that Jaylen walked through earlier like it was sweet, and he was thinking about setting up a play to get him back over there. For that, Keontae called his little sister outside. At the time, just 16 years old, Deanna Ragland. He told her to hit Jaylen up on Snapchat and say she wanted to meet up with him in the apartments. It's not clear when she contacted the young man if Jaylen knew that was Keontae's sister or not. But thinking it was a female close by that wanted to kick it, he responded to the messages. Deanna told him she was outside, but he had to come now. So Jaylen told his family he would be back. He was going to chill with a young lady. As he entered the complex, Deanna played the game, asking step by step Like, where you at? While whole time giving out information to her brother's friends, Malachi and Keyshawn. Before she then text Jaylen, like, never mind, bro, I changed my mind. As he turned around frustrated to walk home, he noticed he was being followed by two men. And as he entered a nearby apartment complex called Oglethorpe Ridge, multiple shots went off, hitting the young man. He was able to run for help, yelling, "I'm shot, they shot me," before collapsing on the doorstep of a county law enforcement officer who called for help. As local police arrived to the scene, Jaylen was in critical condition. He was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. As the devastating news was delivered to his family, they had questions and asked, did it have anything to do with the girl he told them he was going to meet? That was police first lead. As they searched Jaylen's cell phone, they realized he was in communication with a young lady named Deanna. As police went to talk to Deanna, they also spoke to her brother, Keontae. Both siblings denied the fact they had anything to do with the situation, and Deanna even broke down crying after finding out Jaylen had passed away. But a search of her cell phone records showed something different. Police found messages of the night of the shooting to Malachi and Keyshawn, letting them know Jaylen's whereabouts and every move. When police went to talk to the two young men, Malachi broke and confessed to the whole thing. He explained that night they were all outside, him, Keontae, and Keyshawn, when Keontae expressed his anger about Jaylen walking through the neighborhood. So he used his little sister to lure Jaylen back in the area and got his two homies to do his dirty work. As the two men followed Jaylen, Malachi shot him, then threw the gun and ran. With that information, all four were taken into custody, charged as adults with first-degree hit and conspiracy. As the case started making its way to court, with Malachi already confessing, he copped out to aggravated assault and felony hit. And in 2023, he received a life sentence. The other three tried their hand at a jury trial, but with the jury saying text messages and social media messages that basically showed the plot play out in real time, they were all found guilty on all charges. And Deanna, Keontae, and Keyshawn were all sentenced to life in prison. Rest in peace to Jaylen. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. 19 years old. That's heartbreaking as a parent. Your child leaving the house saying he will be back, and you get a knock on your door saying he's gone. Whole life ahead of him, taking over a fight and a walk through a neighborhood. As far as Keontae, in my opinion, that was a sucker move. He didn't say nothing to Jaylen when he saw him. He waited till he got his homeboys around him, and even worse, he brought his little sister in to do his dirty work. Deanna was only 16. Now her whole life is gone behind her brother's beef. And Keyshawn and Malachi, they were super crash dummies. I would have told bro, like, you gotta handle your business yourself. It's no way I'm laying on somebody for you while you in the house chilling. But now they all got a lifetime to think about their mistakes. It's always sad and unfortunate to see kids throw their lives away or take a life over something petty. But I want to know y'all thoughts about the situation. Definitely leave it in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that young man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I definitely appreciate you if you made it to the end. Definitely tap that like button if you're feeling the content. This is another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.